Hey everyone, and welcome back to episode number 10 of the Motorsport Manager Underdog Challenge. We just finished a full season and we are now getting to the second season. Now last season we did quite alright, we got 10th out of everyone. We fought with ZRT Autosport for a while for that 9th spot, but we weren't able to get it just about. That's not the end of the world. We were pretty much the worst team on all sides. Now, as you can see, after some upgrades, still at the very end of last season, we are actually not the worst anymore in terms of cars. ZRT is now below us. The one problem with that is still that there is 8 other teams above us, of course. But we are climbing up there, and especially for only having done a few part upgrades, that is not too bad, I'd say. Our driver situation is still by far the worst. Our headquarters is bang on average, but we do have some upgrades due very soon, which we'll talk about in a second. Our staff is still the worst. Our sponsors are very good, and we are going to try and get them up even a little more. And then our pit crew is pretty decent as well. Not amazing, but good enough. Now, as said, we do have some HQ factory upgrades on the way. Well, not factory, but telemetry center is on the way. The design center is almost done. And we are building a new scouting facility. Now that scouting facility might not be as much use as we want, but we'll see where we can get. The telemetry center, I believe, is for the gearbox. Yeah, there you go. And it will also help our drivers to improve their consistency and smoothness. We will be building more very soon, but we have to wait for the design center to upgrade first. And apart from that, we don't have too much to do besides see that we actually have a contract situation, as both Katie Linares and Scott Price are going to run out of their contracts soon. That is okay. We don't care so much, quite honestly. But yeah, it is something to keep an eye on. Both of these we could easily re-sign if we wanted to. It might make sense to wait for a little bit and see what our options are before Season 2 starts. And here we actually have our first very important dilemma. As you can see, we get a question from a journalist, Hank Lipman, who asks, "Hi Steve, we are interested in getting a look inside your HQ ahead of new seasons. Our readers and partners would be much more interested in your team if we were to write a good article. If, on the other hand, we wrote a bad article claiming you were closed and backward thinking, ... Alright, this is actually a super good dilemma. Because all it would cost us to get plus 15% team marketability is to make Scott Price a little bit angry. And I don't mind doing that. The other way around, and I don't know who would ever choose this option, is to go for the minus 10% team marketability and say, don't threaten me, no press. We are absolutely going with the slimy journalist and getting that juicy 15% bonus, as we are now at 64%. That is huge. And that might actually mean if we replace Frankie Kinney with a 100% driver, we could actually get up to that 90%, I believe. Or at the very least, very close. We also have an open sponsor spot, where we already have 2 very enticing offers, but let us wait for a little while and see what else we get offered. And there's that third offer, so have a look. Well, this one obviously already falls off immediately because it's just worse in every way to Cortez here, as we'll get both an upfront payment and a fixed payment. Now, there is something to be said for going for the 6.5 million upfront, as we could immediately use that for part construction, building upgrades, and whatever else. Now, do we want to do that is the question. We get about a little bit less than 600,000 per race, whereas with this one we get about, let's say, 450 per race. So I think actually this upfront payment is just a lot better, because money early is better than money late. Yeah, well, I think we'll just take Sep Oil here. It's also done earlier. That means we can quite soon again go for a different sponsor, and preferably a 5-star rated one. So yeah, I think we will get Sep Oil here. They secure for the entire season their spot on our beautiful car. Well, it's not beautiful yet. It needs a recolor at the start of the season. But they will be joining our chassis. Let's see, is there already some new drivers? I know at the end of the season some new drivers jump in. Yes, they are here. And let's scout all of those guys and see if any of them are worth picking up later. And there goes our contract situation with Scott Price and Katie Linares. Frankie Kinney is suspicious about media reports. I read that story in the paper. Not cool, boss. All right, well, that is fine. I guess that was actually some consequences of what we talked about. Wait, I've read the rumors in the paper. You're thinking of getting rid of me. That's a fine way to hear about it. I can offer a lot to this team. I hope you know that. Even if you do not want to get rid of me, it hurts to hear about it through the papers. I don't know what we... Well, you can mind read apparently, because we did just talk about getting rid of you, but... Holy crap, you are getting sentient. Okay, well, interesting. Sorry for that, Kinney, but you are most likely getting the can very soon, as we do want to find someone that has a bit better marketability. Preferably also someone better than Scott Price, just because 90% isn't going to cut it either. You are very interesting. You are both a pay driver and you have a huge marketability. I love that. So let's mark you. Anyone else we don't really have yet? Oh, you are also a pay driver and 100% marketability. You are definitely also a very exciting prospect. Not in terms of skills, because you're awful, but yeah, very, very enticing. Now, there's always Scott, of course, who has 90% as he lost his buff. Yeah, so I think that is for now the most interesting drivers we have. Yeah, okay. The thing is, what do we want to do now? We already have our sponsors picked out, so it's not bad that our marketability dropped for a second, as we have this Sjoerd Oliveira temporarily take up a team slot. I think in order to get to 90%, we do need 2 100s, and I don't think we have that option. Obviously, having 2 pay drivers would also be very nice. So let's see, Joanna and Bjorn. I think you guys are the best options that we have right now. Yeah, because you have both the best marketability and your pay drivers. So I think we will be snatching up both Bjorn and Joanna here, instead of Scott Price and Frankie Kinney. It's nothing personal. I do like Kinney and Scott Price. I've started many runs with them. But you don't always get to pick who you play with, I suppose. Your status isn't so important, so let's just make you a number 2 driver then. Your wages are also not very important. How high can you go? To 60, so let's offer you like almost a minimum then. You'd prefer a long contract. I guess we can offer you a medium one. We're not going to give you anything, basically. Let's see if you accept this. Probably not, but if you do, it would be really funny to me. And Joanne, you are actually not so bad. Your adaptability is nice for the rain. You're quite fit. Your feedback is not bad, and neither is your focus. Everything else is pretty bad again, so we will be again dealing for a full season with drivers that don't know how to deal with tire wear. But, well, it is what it is, let's say. Your status, again, isn't too important. Let's make you equal then. You do cost a little bit more, but probably not as much as Scott Price. And you would prefer a short contract, which we will oblige. You don't care for a signing on fee. And you also don't care for a bonus, so that is very nice. Basically, we're just giving you the one thing you want, which is a short contract. I would also really love, like I said before, to get a reserve driver with really good feedback. I'm just not sure that there is one. You're bad. Pretty good, but you're too good to be our reserve driver and too dangerous. You're interesting, but also not really what we need. We could just get Katie back or just keep whoever we have now, as they'll both just basically be bad. Let's see, after all these checks, we might see someone that interests us. But for now, we'll go with whoever is already there. Looks like Joanne already accepted immediately. That is great. Welcome aboard, Joanne. And we'll get rid of Sjoerd here. Sorry, Sjoerd. See you never. And then on to the next one. Yes, we signed Coburn. I think I can bring a lot to the team here in Australia. I'm seeing this as an important step in my career. Well, welcome aboard. And Bjorn also immediately accepted, which is very nice. And that means, unfortunately, that we are going to have to get rid of Frankie Kinney. She has done amazing work for us, not particularly in terms of racing, but she was a pay driver, which was very nice. She didn't cost so much, and she had some pretty good stats in terms of feedback. You did crash despite your good focus stat. You're also very old. I do remember in season 2, she basically drops off like a brick, and all of this goes to like 0. So I'm very sorry. We are going to give you a nice little retirement package of 300,000. And I think that will definitely be worth the financial hit. So goodbye, Frankie. See you never. And that is about it. Yes, sorry. This is a joke, an absolute joke. I thought we were going to try to win things together. Now I know that it was all a lie. Screw you, Steve. Screw you. Sorry. Very sorry. Awesome. I'm so glad to have joined you here at Predator Racing Groups. I can't wait to get into the car and find out what I'm going to be working with. I've heard good things about this team. And Predator Racing Group picks up Bjelland. Very nice. And let's see what that did to our marketability. We are getting ever so close to that level 90 or the 90% mark where we will get 5 level sponsors. We do still need to build a helipad for that, but that won't be the biggest issue, to be honest. And a nice little bonus is that we now have 2 pay drivers. So we'll be getting 200,013 from Bjelland here. And from Joanne, we will also be getting 270,000. That is a very nice little buff. I'm very happy about our driver choice for next season because financially it makes a lot of sense. Some more scouting reports, and Bjorn Ballant is a gambling addict for 19 more weeks. Okay, well, not a good start there, Bjorn, but let's hope it doesn't impact you too much. Some more new drivers are flooding in, which is nice. Is there anyone still with... You're also a pay driver. Your marketability isn't good enough, no? Really wish we could find someone with good feedback, because we just picked up 2 drivers who have horrible feedback. Yeah, that's a shame. Let's not scout you anymore. You're already somewhere. Go away. And go away. That means that we should be doing everything about these guys. Okay. Well, it's a shame because I would have loved to have someone with good feedback stat. But it doesn't look like we'll be getting that. You maybe. But you might already be too good for us regardless, I think. You, same. Yeah, you're probably too good for us to pick up as a cheap driver. And you guys are just bad. Okay. Well, that's a shame, but doesn't matter so much either. Alright. Yeah, you're addictive. We already read that. World Motorsport opened a brand new staff center. Good for you guys. Hi Steve, me and a few of the engineers are worried about the car's improvability over the course of the season. We've had a few preliminary talks with the engine suppliers and they think they could help us out. For a price, of course. Now here you see improvability +1. And this actually means, yeah, this would basically mean a full +1 star on improvability. Which is quite nice. I'm just not sure if it's really going to matter much for us. Because we got rid of the engine, and I have no clue if this improvability stat actually means that we would be getting anything on a plus bonus for all our other parts, let's say. I'm very curious about that. I'm actually going to look that up. Okay, that made a lot of sense. I read about it. I didn't remember exactly what it does. Basically, I think every star that you add adds about 4 or 8 points in on all parts that you upgrade. So that is really worth it, I think. That should help us a lot in catching up towards the other cars on the grid. And for 1.5 million, that is pretty good because we will be designing our new car soon. And we want a lot of new parts. So I think if we now go back, yeah, there you go. Improvability is now at 2 stars and we didn't even have to pick anything expensive. Before we picked in the last episode all the non-expensive parts, like the engine supplier, the fuel supplier, etc. So we had some horrible, well, basically we have a horrible base of a car. But now we have made it a little bit more improvable for not such a high price, which is nice. Is there anything else? No. Then let's keep going. And here is our livery edit. That means we finally get to design our new car. Let's have a quick look at... Ooh, you are... interesting. Well, you're only interesting for 9 more weeks. And it doesn't matter so much, we already got our drivers that we want. Your feedback is also bad, unfortunately. Alright, and let's edit our car livery. Now there's a lot of options. You can redesign the colors, for example, of your car. You can also add some new designs, such as these. You can even do a livery pack where you get some fun, cool designs like these. I'm a fan of the base pack. It just looks more neat in my opinion. But what do we want? I think this was our base before, which looks nice, I'll admit. We could be doing something like this, and then let's say we make our tertiary color a little bit pinkish. No. Sorry. I apologize, please take it back. Did we make it a... Woof. I'm bad at this. Very bad. A little bit more reddish. Alright, well this looks kind of cool. This is very bright pink actually. Let's make it a little bit lighter, a little bit more classy, let's say. That doesn't look too bad, I'd say. I think that's fine for now. And let's keep going then. We're basically a white car with some pink on top of it, which I don't mind. I think you should always try and sort of stick with the team's colors, which in Predator Racing Group's style is sort of that darker pink. We made it a little bit lighter. Let's just say we changed things up a little bit. All right. And there we go. Now our design center is finally finished and it has been upgraded to level 2. We got one more person to scout. Again, horrible feedback. Don't care then. And we have some pre-season testing coming up soon, so then we can finally see how well our car is going to do this season. Projectedly, at least. Now, with the design center going to level 2, we actually have some new upgrades to make. There's a lot of choices that were just added. I believe the helipad, the tour center, probably the wind tunnel, handling development center, and simulator. Yeah, so a few of these we are not going to be using at all, such as the simulator, because a rear wing we don't need, as it is a spec part. The wind tunnel, same thing. That is useful for the front wing, which we are not going to be doing anything with. But the tour center and helipad are both very important. Now the tour center we might not need immediately, because we are not yet at a 90% level. But by the time we get there, we want immediately to be able to get level 5 sponsors, so we are going to start construction on the helipad immediately, just to make sure that we do have it when time comes around. Similarly, I thought actually the tour center was rather expensive, and for plus 73,000 that didn't seem so worth it, but now looking at it, for only 1.5 million, that is a steal. And let's make sure our finances in the future are going to be better, as with this tour center we will be touring our facilities for a little cash bonus to fans. Then, is there anything else we want to build while we still have cash before we are going to get rid of it all? Well, there might be. We have the choice out of the suspension building, the brakes building, or for example a forecasting center, which could also be very interesting. We are already building the telemetry center so that we can upgrade our gearbox faster and better. A forecasting center is interesting, but I really don't think it's that necessary yet. I think I will start on the suspension building first. That will allow us to make better suspensions, and the brakes building is just very expensive. So I don't really like that. On the other hand, our brakes are pretty much the best thing about our car right now. So if we get this up, we could really try and push that this season maybe already to the max level. We can't pick both. So for now, I'm going to just go for the suspension, as that is lagging behind the most. And maybe very soon we will try and go for the brakes facility too, but not yet. Our scouting facility has just been built. That means we will get to pick from way more drivers soon. I will be clicking on scouting of those pretty soon. Maybe I can already, yeah, there they are. Hopefully there's a reserve driver in there that we can pick up for cheap that has good feedback rating. Let's unmark Scott. We don't need him anymore. We'll see. In hindsight, what I should have actually done maybe was get Frankie Kinney as our reserve driver. She won't now anymore because I fired her. I'm not even sure if she would take a demotion. I've never tried that. But that would have actually been quite good, as she has a pretty decent feedback rating. Yeah, now she doesn't want to sign with us anymore since we fired her. Cool. I think we just finished something else. What was that? Yeah, the scouting facility. It looks quite nice. I think this is one of the classiest looking buildings that you can build. Just looks like a little nice, you know? Yeah. All right. Preseason testing. So let's see how well our car is projected to be doing this season. We did upgrade our brakes a lot, but the other parts are just not that great. So, okay. That looks like quite a good time, but I don't think we'll actually finish there, unfortunately, in the season. Bjelland is having a horrible time adjusting to the car, but Coburn is really giving it its all, which is nice. It gave both our drivers a little morale boost, even Bjelland, who finished dead last, so that is interesting. He had some horrible lap times. 6 seconds behind Coburn, despite having pretty much an equal car. That is probably a sign of things to come. I don't think we'll be relying on Bjelland much. He is purely here for his 100 stat in marketability. Same for Coburn, really, but at least she has some skills to show for it. And both being paid drivers, of course, helps. All right, preseason testing. Testing went brilliantly this weekend. I'm happy to report that we're in a strong position for the rest of the season. Great. And then we have our targets for 2017, where we can either pick 8th or 10th. Now we can get like 3 more million by picking this option and really trying to get that 8th spot. Why I'm actually not going to do that is because we want to really make sure that our team marketability goes up. And yeah, the best way to do that is to finish higher steadily. So that will allow us to do that much more easily. We can also now start improving parts and work on designing some new ones. So first of all, let's have a look at our current parts performance. So acceleration, the gearbox is currently worst on the grid, unfortunately. Brakes, however, we are in 7th. So that is not too shabby at all. And then for the medium speed corners, again, we are the worst on the grid. This is both down to me making a bit of a mistake last season and working on the parts a little bit too late, unfortunately. But that's okay. Now, as for designing some new ones, we could either start working on the brakes again to try and get those to an even higher level, or alternatively, we could, for example, work on the gearbox. That is a little bit more important most of the time. So let's have a look then. What can we actually do about our gearbox? And then we see that actually we have some really good parts, unfortunately, or components. They are also very risky. So early on in the season, this doesn't really do too much for us to pick this one. There isn't much that we can already get that would make it better. So we will definitely be building gearboxes this season, but probably not in order to do well this season. For the brakes, it looks like we have sort of the same, actually, some really good components, but not to use this season. That leaves suspension, where we have the same story again. Okay, very interesting. I do want to start building them, because I don't want a repeat of last season where we start too late. But I was hoping that we would get a little bit more performance out of them immediately. Is there anything that we could... Yeah, I guess this. I guess a better brake is an option. Yeah, that is a shame, to be honest. But I guess it's not too bad to start working on a better brake at least. We'll get a little bit of reliability out of it, and it builds quite quick and it doesn't cost much. So let's start at least and just start building it. Okay, now we're also going to immediately be improving parts again, and here we do the same trick that we did last time, where we will be focusing on reliability first. And now we can actually do that with 20 staff instead of 10. We will be working on the gearbox first for both cars. And why do we do that? Because the gearbox actually now costs the most time to repair apart from the engines, but the engines are already at 80%, so as long as we don't run them on red the entire race, they should be fine. Brakes we can repair very quickly, and all the other spec parts are also already at level 80. I think suspension is also kind of fine. I don't think, well, not sure actually how fine that is. We can just do it like this, but it does make it all cost a little bit more time. If we can get it to, let's say, like 60-70%, I'm not too unhappy, to be honest. And the brakes will bite the bullet on, and we will just repair it. I think the last season at the start, they made suspensions already have an 80% rating. That's a shame that it's not this time. We should actually also have someone already improve performance of parts we will not be upgrading very early on. So let's do this, but give you basically no one to work with, as all of the staff should help Oscar here. Is there anything we can do for this? Yes, this is actually way better. Probably I've had that the wrong way around for a full season or something like that. That is a bit unfortunate. Alright, so looks like our first set of brakes is already done. Almost. Yes, you are. And it's actually a lot better already than our second set of brakes. And it's also more reliable, so we can immediately start using it already next race. And let's then immediately make another set of brakes, where we might already immediately go into the red. I think we will. Yeah, we're gonna just make an illegal part. And then we're just basically almost done already with brakes for the rest of the season. So let's see, we want this one, and then we'll go to that one next. That means we have a very good brake for next season, but we can't use it this season yet. I'd rather build it now at least. Then it's just done. And we don't have to look at brakes again for a while. Alright, our first race will be in the Black Sea in Russia. It will be a 30 lap race, so quite long actually. The lap length is 2.6 miles. It is likely to rain during the race with a 40% chance of rain. That means we will be using some sturdier tires, I think. Yeah, okay. Let's see how that goes. With the race being a bit longer, that might also spell disaster, to be honest, for our parts. But let's see how high we can get them still. We do have some more people scouted. You are really good at feedback. I would love to get you, but you're also already picked up and very expensive. Huge anticipation for the season opener. We will be out to impress the rest of the paddock. Any finish around 10th place would be seen as a hugely impressive result. Great, thanks. Yeah, Larson here, you're really good. Wow. But unfortunately, you're also not, well, boring, I guess, since you're not marketable at all. Let's pick 13th, because that's much more attainable than any of the other ones. And let's make sure that we have fitted our parts correctly. You will be getting the best brake, and you will get a better brake than you had at least. So that's something. We'll basically give our best driver, Joanne, also the best part, just to grant her the best possible chance of a good finish. We got our parts in the end up to 67% and 66%, so it should be okay, but seeing that this is quite a long race, I'm not sure we won't have to repair any parts besides the brakes, which is unfortunate, but not the end of the world, as always. I'm very happy that we at least managed to get one good brake out there, and we are going to be really digging deep on these parts this season, and hopefully in the third season we can already make a bit of a splash then in the competition, as we will be, hopefully doing much better. Let's have a look then at our tires and our setups. As always, we are going to be putting it right at the edge here and see how that does. And yeah, we actually are going to need to run on softs basically the entire race, and we might be able to finish a 2 stinter still. So that is not so bad. Okay, then let's put you right at the edge here too. And like that should be okay. And you are also going to practice on softs. I would love to at least get 1 level. But to be honest, I'm not sure that that will actually happen. You both have horrible feedback. We really need to get a better feedback driver. Don't know why I sent you out on soft. Actually seeing how that it is raining. Well, it's gonna level off again. Let's just keep you on soft. Try and get that bonus. That looks bad. Let's try and put you in the middle maybe. And you a bit more to the right. And you are already quite good, but let's put you like here and see if that does anything for us. And send you right back out again. And you are already looking quite good. Just your downforce that we need to tweak a little bit. 87% is already rather good. Let's put you like here and keep this around the same level. Keep this around the same level. Let's see if this does anything. Alright. And go out again. That should be much better. I know everyone is on inters, but we'll have to switch soon enough anyway. You went from excellent, excellent, and then you just have 1 poor. That is odd. We had good here and poor here, so that means we went the wrong way. Basically, we should be like here. Yeah. And then give you 1 nudge back to keep you on the excellent. You could probably run the rest of the race out like this. So give you a bunch of fuel and on you go. Same for you. I think you should be in 90% somewhere. Yeah, 95. Perfect. And give you the tires, give you the fuel, and on you go. That should be okay. And we won't practice on inters. I just don't care enough. Well, we get 1 level at least for the soft, so that's not the end of the world. Definitely not going to run on super softs. With a 30 lap race, I would really love to just do 2 stints. Or well, 2 pit stops. So let's see how that goes. Yeah, I know we should be running on inters. I just really wanted to try and get that soft tire up there. At least the race trim we got to level 2, so that's a nice little bonus. And I think since we replaced both our drivers, we won't have the perk anymore that lets us run our engine at a higher level without penalty. But, well, it's not the end of the world. Matthias de Wolf. Alright. Belgian name I haven't seen before in motorsport. And it's looking like a rather sunny day on actual race day. Okay. Very interesting. Let's give you your perks. And same for you. We don't have any other choice. And we're definitely not starting you on the softs, super softs. We are starting you on the regular softs. That is probably going to cost us a bit in terms of performance, but we will only have to do 2 stops. And that is worth more to me than getting the performance out of the supers. And there you go. And John Red for the first lap and see how you both fare. Alright. And for the first time in the second season, we are off. And basically everyone chose to be on super soft. So that is very interesting. That also probably means we are going to be taken over left and right. But, well, we'll see who's laughing when they need to stop once more, at least. Yeah, that's probably not going to have a huge impact. I don't think we'll do that well this... someone ran white. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not expecting us to do super well, to be honest. Let's immediately pull back on our tires a little bit. We need to conserve these bad boys for quite a while. Let's see what we can do besides drop off immediately horribly. You're sort of maintaining your spot. Same for you, even though your spot was already way down. I think we can run the fuel rather aggressively, but the tires, I really want to try and conserve them a little bit. Let's keep it like this. And since I kind of want to get the fuel evened out between you two, let's try and do something like this. Well, Coburn is actually holding her own. We are giving her a lot of power, of course. That is. Maybe has something to do with it. Let's also conserve your tires for a little while. See how that goes. We'll take you off of the pedal anyway. Take your foot off the pedal, Bjelland. You are here for fun. Engines are doing kind of fine. I don't mind that so much. They're actually fighting to try and overtake Dreyfus. Interesting. So everyone on the super softs is going to need to pit soon, as they are all running through their tires rather hard. That is rather good. Wow, you actually had an overtake. I think that's the first time probably in this series where we've overtaken someone without having to do it. Let's heat up your tires a little bit. Without having to do it via pit stops. Interesting. Let's say we want to do 4 more laps with you. Is that going to be possible? And then 5 with you. So we need to both conserve your fuel for... Oh, no. It is going to rain. Okay. That means we can do 1 more pit with you. And you are actually immediately going to pit. Because otherwise, one of you has a horrible pit stop. Yeah, the rain basically throws a wrench in our plans for a 2-stopper. And it also kind of messes us up with the super soft versus soft strategy. That is a shame. We knew that up front that could happen, of course, but yeah, it is what it is. So we don't need to repair anything just yet. Let's get you on the inters. That is looking like the right decision for now. That is a shame. So let's really just start to chunk through everything then. Both your fuel and your tires. Did not notice that it was going to rain. Again, I should have looked at that a bit earlier. You have had a decent pit stop. And let's push both your tires and your fuel then. And now you are going to have to pit next and also go to the inters. Let's just give you a full fuel tank's worth. And we could still potentially do a 2-stopper. Just depends a bit on what the rain is going to do, I suppose. So since we can do that, let's actually just put you... I think this is okay. Orange should last you for quite a while. We are going to pit maybe... No, I think we're pitting right on time. I think these people are actually not pitting early enough. They're gonna do 1 lap basically in quite some crappy weather. But yeah, let's see how we do. For you, let's also put you on orange. And you are going to get out of the pit lane in... 13th? Yeah, okay. Oh, not too bad. Let's see how we do when the other people are also pitting. I think they should put up some pretty bad lap times with these softs during wet weather. I think we'll overtake at least 1 person, I think. Maybe 2? Yeah, 2. Okay, not bad. 2 spots gained there, and we still have the opportunity maybe of overtaking some of these people, but that is not looking very likely. They are staying out for very long actually in this crappy weather. Curious to see what that will do to their lap times. You can actually see that, I think. Well, their lap times are pretty good, but that could also be down to them just having really good cars and drivers, as we don't have that. Someone already needs to make a repair, so that is definitely what we are trying to bank on, as we have tried to put ourselves in the position where that might not be necessary as much. Brakes, of course, don't cost much, so we don't mind that, but everything else we really want to preserve and make sure we don't have to do that. So far, it looks like it will keep raining for rather a while. So let's keep ourselves on orange, I think. Or maybe even... No, I want to really try and keep these spots, actually, if possible. Try and defend that from anyone around us. So more people pitting now. Dreyfus also needs to repair a part. Interested to see how long that will last then. Oh, that is a bad part too. Yeah, that might be an engine or a gearbox. Because that is a very long pit stop. Yeah, that is insane. Wow. Okay, well, good for us. She's still in the pit. Yeah, just now she finally got her part repaired. Wow. That took ages. Okay. I think this is still okay. I really don't mind running orange here. It shouldn't impact our engine too much. And we should be making good time with it. The only problem is, when is it going to stop raining? It does look like it's evening out a bit. Pull you back to yellow for now. Give ourselves a little bit more fuel and tire to work with if necessary. And once we have more information, we'll revisit that. For now, we are not doing too shabby at all. Both our drivers are still doing quite fine. And it looks like it is going to start drying up a little. While still raining, by the way, but it is also drying a little. So, interesting. We have about 6 laps left with you and 4 with you. I think, yeah, we'll just pit regardless, I think, in 4 laps. 3, 4... that would still be in the rain though. If we could make it to 5 with you, maybe we could make something work. We should be able to make it to 5 if I do this. But then you need to make 6, which is also a little bit dirty. But let's see if we can make it. That might cost some spots, but if it does stop raining, or at least dries up almost completely, I would rather have the option to not have to do a second pit stop, or a third one. So let's see, once we get some more information, that should tell us a lot. Yeah, you can definitely do 5, I think. Especially these inters, you can run them really ragged. I'm just not sure about your fuel level. I think it should be okay. Yeah, it's going to drop off really quickly, so I really want to last these tires for a little while. I mean, if that means giving up some spots now, that's fine by me. Because by the time it drops off, we should be able to just about make one more stint work. Unless it starts raining again, of course, but it doesn't look like it will. So let's try and make this work. Yeah, we are losing spots, obviously, but like I said, that is worth the risk, in my opinion. I'm not sure if we can make these... Can we make this work, actually? You we can definitely do for 3 more. I'm not sure about your 2 more. I think we might have already wasted a little bit too much in terms of tire wear. Start bringing this up a little again, because we need the temperature not to be horrible. Yeah, someone is pitting again, and they are going to inters again. I would love not to have to. Even if that means for 1 lap with Bjelland running on slicks in the wet, which we will be doing with this strategy, but I really want to make it last for 1 more lap. And same for you. I think we can pretty much set you back to neutral. That should be okay. Yeah, it's definitely going to mellow out very soon. And set you back to this and this. Maybe try and push your tires for a tiny bit. Come on. Just keep the temperature just above the graining level. I think it should be just about fine. You obviously need to pit now. By the time we're at the next lap. Yeah, it obviously it sucks, but I really think we need to go for this and try and just make these tires work. Or do we? I think for Bjelland we're just 1 lap short, basically. Because getting him to go on this for 12 laps is rather bad. And we also might need 2 parts fixed. This is really crappy timing, to be honest. We might just make it work, and we could fix, let's say, this one, and then we run out the gearbox and hope that it works. But we really need to be very conservative with our tires then. But let's try it. Let's just make him play very conservatively, and hopefully it works. For you, I think we'll definitely last. That's nice. Yeah, you need to do 1 more lap after this, but that's okay. I know your tire temps are horrible. That's okay. You are now in the pit lane, and yeah, let's pit you next up. Rain is still looking like it completely mellows out. That is perfect. Yeah, for you we can definitely do soft. And we'll also fix your brakes. And we're just going to risk it that the gearbox breaks. If it breaks, it breaks. We really want to get this good finish. At least one of our 2 drivers hopefully should finish within the top 13. Gives us that little bit of extra cash, which I would love. You are getting dangerously close to this cliff. Need to push you tires just a tiny bit. Get them off the temperature. Come on. I think these inters can basically go to 0 before their cliff hits. So as you can see, we're not getting overtaken despite having horrible tires. Perfect. Okay, we made it. I know you. Yeah, I know. This is not the right level yet for them to do this, but the alternative was to do 1 extra pit stop and still be on inters for, yeah, basically 1 more lap. So let's just see if we can make this work. You need to conserve your tires, by the way. We need to make you last for 1 extra lap. You do have a little bit of fuel to play with, so let's put you on high, but your tires should be better. Yeah, other people are now doing the same as us, so I think we are making the right choice. It's just a bit of unfortunate timing. If we maybe ran them for a little bit less red early on in the rain, we could have probably made it work to wait 1 more lap on each of our drivers, and that would have been a lot better for our lap times. But it is what it is. I think these guys are going to be more screwed once they realize they have to do another pit stop on basically a dry track. And that is going to happen after this lap. So let's see what we can do. A lot of people are again repairing their parts, so that is great for us. And we should get out pretty... Yeah, not at 13th yet, but a lot of people are still going to have to pit. Even people behind us still have to pit. So I think we definitely chose the good strategy here. Problem now will be, is our gearbox going to hold out? Your gearbox especially is looking very shifty. But let's see what we can do. Some people are overtaking us still. I think Inters is still the quicker tire. Yep, it definitely is. But really, you're not switching off of it. Yeah, we are very soon getting back to the level where slicks are now the better tire. So despite us getting taken over, we are taking over someone that just pitted. Great. Basically, we can kind of run out the race now. Your tires should hold out now for the rest of the race, I think. We have to do 8 more laps. To conserve these tires a tiny bit still, I think. And then we'll put them back in yellow. Really want to make sure we don't hit the cliff on either of our drivers, if possible. But of course with fuel we can always play around a little bit. Inters are now massively dropping off, and it will not be raining again for the rest of the session, so everyone on Inters here now needs to pit, otherwise they are going to destroy their lap times. Yeah, as you can see, people are now pitting, so I think we are making the right choice here. We have 1 less pit stop than a lot of people. Whether that will actually help us remains to be seen, but I would love to try and manage to stay within the sponsor objective. Still with basically the worst car on the grid, bar 1 other team, I think. Let's keep it like this. I think you guys should both be okay now with your tires till the end of the session. We have 7 more to go. 6.5 basically. Oh, someone retired. Perfect. Yeah, some people are switching now to the super softs for the last stint. That was also a pretty viable choice, I suppose. Let's see how it works out for them. Maybe that would have been the better choice for at least one of our drivers too. I think maybe Bieland could have benefited a lot from that, because he did basically 2 laps on intermediates. 2 laps on slicks when it was already still wet. That was probably not the right choice for him, but Coburn I think we made the right choice with, as we only did 1 lap on really bad tires. Dembele also retired, okay. Hey, there's your gearbox. We have 6 laps to go. Oof, that is very unfortunate, but I think we basically have to pit you. I want you to finish at least, so let's put you on super softs. This does suck a lot. But yeah, we really need you to, so let's just fill you up on fuel too. At least enough to just run on red for the rest of the race. No, we can't even do that, to be honest. I don't want to use his fuel at all. Well, we should. Let's give him a little bit of fuel. Because it doesn't matter for our pit stop time anyway. And at the very least, he'll be running out the race then. With so many people retiring now, that's still worth a few points. So with, what is it, 5 laps to go, I just don't think it's worth it to risk his race completely. We are really hoping that your parts don't hit the border yet, at least. That would be very nice, because you are bound to set a really good time right here. You have 5 laps left, so we can't be running you on orange for much longer. This sucks a lot. Sorry, Bjorn. I really wanted better for you, but this is unfortunately the way it has to go. Oh, you're also getting a mistake in your refueling. I guess that doesn't matter anymore since we're anyway repairing a long part. This sucks a lot. That basically guarantees a last place for him. But I didn't want him to retire, so let's just run you on red now, or orange, and that's the way it has to be, unfortunately for you. Yeah, I know. The mistake didn't matter for you anymore, buddy. It was just the car itself that let you down, I promise. We have 4 laps to go with you, and you'll just about last you there. Same for your tires, I think. Let's not conserve, or let's not push either of those too hard. I think your parts are looking still fine for now. If one of her parts now breaks down, we are just going to let her run out the race. And hopefully that's good enough. In hindsight, yeah, we could have definitely picked a bit different strategy for your. We could have then repaired your gearbox during your last pit stop, but yeah, we didn't have too much of a choice there anyway. I thought I made the right choice with Bjelland at the end, but obviously not. We are going to gain 1 more spot because Sabado needs to pit again. Very good for us. Really just please hold out. That gearbox is looking very, very shifty now, but we only have to do it for 2 more laps. Same for you. Your rear wing is looking horrible apparently. Come on. Come on, Coburn. You can do this. Just maintain those parts for a little while longer. Oh, wow. Your tire is looking mighty bad. Let's see what we can do about that. Actually, your fuel I mistimed a little bit too. I think on blue you should be okay for the remainder of the race. Yeah, you'll be fine with running blue for a little bit, and then we'll bring you back to medium. That should be okay. Can you get to the rest of the race like this? Probably yes. Let's see if we can keep 7th ahead of us. Push those tires a little bit. Come on. Come on, give you a bit of orange. Not too much. Oh, immediately went back down again. Come on. Push him, push him, push him, push him. Full on the throttle, full on the throttle. Come on. There you go. Alright, 6. That is an amazing result. Probably one of the highest we've had so far. Coburn is immediately making a splash in our team. Bjelland, on the other hand, has gotten a not so good finish. He even got lapped, I guess, since the race is already over for him by the Wolf. Alright, well, I'm very happy about that 6th place finish at least. That is an amazing result for us. We timed Coburn's race pretty much perfectly and our parts didn't die down, which was awesome. Obviously, the same can't be said for Bjelland, but anyway, he's the worst driver, and I think with 6th we should be very, very happy. And it looks like, yeah, of course, no illegal parts yet. We did make our sponsor objective, and we could have actually picked a higher one. We might do that next race if we feel like we can sort of, yeah, go through this chaos a little bit. We actually got a 6th place immediately. That will be very good for our team's marketability. So we are really making great strides towards the level 5 sponsorship deals. I think we'll definitely hit it this season, hopefully as early as possible. But you never know in racing, of course, anything can happen. Let's have a look at how everything went. We got some new unlocks with our engineers. That is very nice. As now we can run the engine maybe a little bit hotter than we want. We got a huge marketability boost, plus 133%, which is amazing. And yeah, that is because we came in 6th. Very good. We earned almost 2 million overall. That is of course due to our 2 paid drivers and hitting the sponsor objective. I think right there we just did very well. Awesome. All right. Now, after the first race of the second season, that is a good time to wrap it up. I think we can be very happy with our second season start. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.